A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel, the Twinflame Union. And this is the part 2 of the channeling session where I was talking about divine masculine, learning the difference between toxic feminine and divine feminine. And this is a very interesting channeling. I'm also going to share a vision of mine. Before I go any further, I'll share the vision. But before I share the vision, I would like to tell you that for any inquiries or queries on readings, therapies, counselings, hand-holding, please go through the description box. It has all the details, and once you are very sure of what exactly you want to do, then you can write to me at the sunamoon@gmail.com. When it comes to twin flame intuitive readings or tarot readings, then I prefer to not know anything about your journey, because if I know so much about your journey, then it might get mixed, that information get mixed with the reading. But once I do the reading for you, then it's also helpful in therapy. So better to share when you're getting into therapy, or when I request you for information, because during therapy sessions we need to dig deep into your past, or we need to dig deep into your current, even the twin flame journey, right? So let's get started now for this channeling session. So the vision was like this. Basically, I was shown a underground discotheque which was run by a very dark person, and this person has a lot of money and this person has a lot of everything. It was a very fancy place with all kinds of men and women. He had designed the place in such a way that the men and women were obviously looking for intercourse or having sacral chakra exchange, sexual energy exchange, or things like that. Now, when I asked the divine that how should the divine masculine be, a real divine masculine, I don't know where this real divine masculine is or was at that point in time. I had no idea. These false twins are really good in showing this image that they are spiritual heroes or some kind of light workers, and they have so much knowledge about the dark world or the light world and this and that. But all false twins, even psychopaths, even sociopaths, they are really good with knowledge and they can really manipulate people. You must know that. I also watch a lot of shows on serial killers, because most serial killers or most people like that are also suffering from huge amount of narcissistic disorder. Imagine a sociopath having a narcissistic disorder. It's crazy what all they can do, what all horrible things they can do. Nevertheless, now I did not see the face, to be honest, but I saw a really handsome, good-looking man. So such a good-looking man in a bar, in a club like that. It was probably a country like Dubai or some kind of Middle East type of a country where you have so much money everywhere. So he was sitting in a bar-like place, and there were many people, and he was just, he was just scanning the crowd, okay? After scanning the crowd, and I didn't see he was drinking anything. It was not alcohol, but it was some kind of a mocktail. So he wasn't clearly drinking alcohol, but if you would have a look at him from a distance, it would seem that he's having a drink alone in a very fancy bar which has all these hot women dressed very scantily, showing off all their assets. I don't have a problem in wearing short clothes, guys. I myself wear a lot of short clothes. But another difference between toxic feminine and a real divine feminine is that real divine feminine does not use her body organs to seduce men. Like, she won't use her breast or she won't use her vagina to get a man. But toxic feminines will always use these body parts as some kind of a, some kind of a thing to attract a man, to seduce a man. And that's why you'll also see a lot of women, especially in the West, they are getting a lot of breast enhancements. They are, and it was a rage 10 years back also. People like Pamela Anderson and all these women, they just made this rage, become a rage at one time. And then came Kylie Jenner, who changed like the lips and who changed like so many things about her body parts, body structure, but everything designed to look like a attractive woman who is there to, seduce any man, like literally any man. And that's not correct, because they also like to, I'm not saying that they do this purposely, or of course such women do it purposely, try to attract or trap men, who could be really good for them. They are very innocent, they are like true lovers, but they have something in them. Their soul is such that they want the soul, they are attracted to the soul. Now, men also who fall for such women, fake women, even they have a lot of learning to do. They have probably started thinking that this is the right way of life, to live like this. Of course, such men don't know what is toxic and what is not. That's also their problem. Otherwise, why would they leave an ex-girlfriend, an old girlfriend who has known this person for say 10 years, 8 years, 12 years, and once they become famous or they become rich, if not famous, there are also a lot of wealthy men, and there are a lot of gold diggers and those who look for sugar daddies or boyfriends or men who can just manage their expenses or their fancy lives, right? So anyway, this divine masculine was just scanning people, and then a girl came up to him, okay? And a girl came up to him and she just offered him, and she said that why don't we just go ahead, go spend some time alone in my room or something. So he asked her, do you have a room? Like, do you have a place or something? She said, yeah, I do. I do actually. Why don't we go over there? Now he can see that she's full of lust and she's completely, driven. She's totally seduced by him and things like that. The next thing is that they are going to a room, they're going to some place, and before going to some place, there is a guy who also joins them. And this guy meets the DM in the pub only, in the bar only, okay? And he's some really rich guy who has a very fancy car, and he looks at the DM and he goes like, hey, what's up? Are you here? You're new, you're traveling. He says, yeah, I'm traveling and I'm here for like a night or so, 2 nights maybe, and then I go back to my country and blah, blah, blah. So this guy says, why don't you join me? Why don't you come along? And in the meantime, this girl was also around, so this rich dude says, why don't you two come with me? And then they go together, and then he says, like, he brings in 2 more girls, and he says, let's all of us go to my place and we can all have a good time, we'll have a party. But it's very obvious what type of party he is talking about, because, he says, we'll all have a good time, let's go to... There is basically a preparation work going on to have sexual exchange with those girls and guys and things like that. Once they reach that place, and there is a lot of drugs and there's a lot of alcohol, the DM just doesn't drink or take anything, okay? But he does not let them know also. He's very smart. And then suddenly this man says, why don't we involve in a group sex? Why don't we do an orgy? And the divine masculine goes like, so is that why we are here? And then he says, yeah, there are 3 beautiful hot girls and they all have enhanced body parts, so you know what they are into and what they want. And the guy is very ready and excited, and this is when the divine masculine tells them all. And he's very commanding, he's got a lot of commanding energy, he's very polished and things like that. And he tells them that, honestly, you want to do this? He says, yeah. And they say, yeah, why not? And he says, well, I came here just to have a conversation, I was here just to chill. Honestly, I have no interest in this. And these people are literally shocked. And then there was one girl that, the first girl to talk to him. He says to that girl, do you want to leave from here? And the girl says, yeah, sure. And then he leaves with her, okay? And then he asks her, where do you live? You said that you have some place. The girl says, yeah. Now the girl is thinking, oh wow, maybe... Now these are very dark people, they are very dark people, but they are very shocked with this guy, with the divine masculine, because they had never come across anybody who would simply say no to such an opportunity. Also, they have that devilish energy in them, where they look for nice people, good people, and then they make them do these things along with them, and, one good soul has lost its path. Now, he brings that girl with him, and then he drops her, or he takes her to that place. Now, she's thinking, oh my God, we're going to do something now. And he tells her that this is where we stop. As in, I am not going to your place. I never wanted to, okay? But out of all the people I met in the night, you are the one I want to say to you that don't do all of this. Being a woman, you should respect yourself. You should respect yourself. You should not just get into a one-night stand with any random man who's come from some country. You don't even know me. You don't even know what I have and who I am, right? And then this girl is shocked. This girl is like, I've never come across a man who would deny me like this or who would speak to me in such a way. And then he asks her, how old are you? And she's very young actually, younger than him of course. And she says, I am 19 or something. And then he says, you're just 19 years old. You have so much to do in life, than to waste your time. If it wasn't for me, then you would be having an orgy with those people right now, isn't it? And she has a little bit of embarrassment on her face. She said, I've never done it before. He said, look, you don't know what type of people you'll meet, you'll encounter, and where will you end up. So make the most of your life and find a man who's going to love you. Find a man who's going to love you, and find a man who you also love. And he says that this is not going to fulfill you. Maybe you don't even remember half of the things because you're probably drinking so much. So he says this life is precious, and I don't think anybody wants to be with someone who, who's like this. And even if you're at this point, even if you go to someone, become somebody's girlfriend or wife, you'll still not do justice to that person. So work on yourself, become a better person. You don't think you're worthy enough to be loved by someone. That's why you're ready to have a one-night stand with a person like me. You don't even know me. Maybe you think that I'm very good looking, or I'm attractive, or things like that. And that is more than enough for you. That is more than enough for you. Right? So this is not real. In fact, he tells her a little bit of more explanation, talks to her about life and death. And in the end, he does the closing by saying that you're like my little sister. And I do not want my little sister to waste her time or to waste her precious time like this. This girl is shocked. This girl is shocked. And she's like, oh my God, are you for real? And then he tells her that, I love someone a lot. And that person has shown me that true love is the most beautiful thing. Love is something that can heal you, that can give you so much. So love yourself. Don't do this to yourself. Don't torture yourself. You're going to waste more time like this. And then he says to her that, you can take my email address and you can write to me always if you want, alright? If you need something, like an elder brother, I'll always try to help you out. So this is where he drops her, he goes away, and this was universe's way of telling me that a real divine masculine, this is how he's going to be. If that's what you want to know. That even if he is in underworld, even if he is in, in India, in Hindi, we used to say that the underworld is basically where the demons live. But underworld is like, they create the underworld energy or frequency in places like these, which are very dark, which operate in the night time, where there's a lot of substance, a lot of alcohol or drugs, a lot of promiscuity, infidelity, a lot of people are just crazy about bodily things, all bodily pleasures. That is what hell is like. So, and hell always looks very beautiful from outside, but inside there is a lot of darkness. So, he understands now, coming back to the channeling, this divine masculine is able to understand the difference between true love and fake love, and this desperation, that people have, this intimacy. He feels like, what is this for? This is no good. This is not something that is really elevating me. So this is where I'm going to sign out from this particular session. And people, if you resonate with the channelings, then do let other people know, because there are lots of people in this journey who have been feeling very lonely and left out, and as if they are the only ones who are having this experience. Through your comments, you can give support to other people also. And yes, you can also show support and love to this content by clicking on the super thanks button that YouTube has recently introduced for all the content creators and the people who love to listen to daily content or regular content. So I'll catch you soon. One love and peace out.